Hello, YouTube. Well, I just found an interesting random route for avoiding traffic that I've never tried before, and I just did it as sort of a oh shit, I made a mistake and I don't want to get caught in this upcoming traffic jam, sort of a Hail Mary sort of maneuver. By the way, date and time, it's Thursday, February 2nd, 2023, 6:29 p.m. I'm on my way to work at Amazon. I want to say it's an overtime shift, but I think the way the hours are going to work, it's a VET shift, but I don't think I'm going to be getting overtime for it because I don't think last night not working, even though it was a paid night off, I don't think it counts towards getting 40 hours, towards over 40 hours being overtime. That made any sense to me. Anyway, what I did, and let me pull the camera so you can all see it. That overpass right there, and you can see the traffic going over it. That's Sky Harbor Boulevard, and the way to get on that ramp that's up above there is when you're on I-7, when you're on I-10, headed east out of downtown Phoenix. I-10 headed east out of downtown Phoenix, and you're headed towards Tempe, or as all the signs say, Tucson. And you take the exit for Sky Harbor Airport. That's where you end up going. As you see on the underpass, right as I go under there to the right, you can see where the traffic just goes under the same underpass I just went under. It exits, and then it swoops under there, goes underneath I-10, and then it kind of goes up to where we were looking at there above 24th Street. I never used that ramp, ever. I'm just never, ever headed to the airport from that direction. And it's very rare if I'm coming that direction that I would think to use the airport as a way to avoid traffic. And to be fair, it wouldn't have been the best option for me to avoid traffic.
We're freeway southbound at Cardinals Way. That rig is out of lanes. It's facing...
Ooh, that's over by the Cardinal Stadium. Well, I forget what the stadium's actually called these days. It's one of those named after the corporate sponsorship stadium, and they keep... There comes a point, once a corporate sponsored stadium changes names like twice, I just kind of tune it out. It's the football stadium over at Westgate, where the Super Bowl is going to be on Sunday. Where there's a really bad accident right now. Anyway, that's farther west than where I'm headed, so not my problem. In fact, if I was concerned that much about traffic, I probably wouldn't be shooting video right now. But part of the reason I decided to start shooting video is just so I could explain what I just did, so it'd be a little more firmly ingrained into my head. And definitely it wasn't a time saver. What I meant to do, and to put a little more context around it, so I head to work, commute from Amazon, my usual thing. Obviously I'm not on the I-10 freeway because the traffic is heavy on the I-10. When I'm heading out for work semi on time, as opposed to heading into work 2 hours late when the traffic's all dissipated. Anyway, so yeah, heading into work, and this particular time when I checked the traffic, it was clear all the way to the short stack on Loop 202, but then the congestion started on I-10 pretty much as soon as I'd be leaving the short stack there, where the 202 and the 51 ends. But the I-10 was clear heading south, which is eastbound I-10. Actually, it looked clear most of the way to Tempe. Not that I need to go any farther than the split where I-17 starts. However, I-17 had bad congestion on it all the way to about, I want to say, 12th Street. Which basically is a sign to me that I want to be on Buckeye, not as I am now, not stay on I-10 all the way to I-17, which I've done this many times. I've logged on this route many times. It's not an unusual route for me to go to evade traffic, because the right where the split starts, there's often congestion there, just because the old bit of I-17 that circles around the south side of downtown Phoenix. It's a super old freeway, and it's pretty narrow, and they can't really do anything to expand it just because of the property adjacent to it. There's really nowhere to go to expand that freeway. So it dang, almost wasn't a long enough arrow to get me across the intersection. Keeping my eyes extra peeled through this stretch because I had some pedestrians a couple weeks ago walk right in front of me here, and had I not been watching as close as I was, I would have hit them. So a little extra cautious for pedestrians. And this bit of the hood here, and this is very much hood around me here. We have Maverick convenience store in that intersection there with Mojave, 7th and Mojave. That's really close to where Yellow Cab was when I first started driving cab. The very first company I ever drove for, which I think I've told the story of why I became a cab driver. It all revolves around an ex-girlfriend that had really bad vision to the point she was legally blind and couldn't get a driver's license. Yeah, I don't want to get sidetracked on that story now. I know I've told it on this vlog before, so if you missed that one, just go dipping through the old ones. The odds of you finding it are like needle in a haystack, since I'm well into the 900s, 950s, 960s on the number of this. I'm not quite sure where this is going to line up with where my numbers are. I just kind of assign those as I upload them. Anyway, as I was saying, so I knew I was headed towards traffic, and I wanted to get the hell off I-10 and get on the I-17, just as I did. And I know the best route to do that is to exit at Washington and Jefferson, go across Washington and Jefferson, and then as the ramp is getting back onto I-10, there's an exit from the ramp for Sky Harbor Circle. It goes up and over the railroad tracks, ends at Sky Harbor Circle. Hanging right at Sky Harbor Circle, which goes west, kind of curves around to the south, and connects to, has an intersection with Buckeye Road, where 18th Street used to be, for that particular, I would say, failed urban renewal project. Absolutely wiped out that neighborhood that used to be there. But that's a whole nother separate subject that I don't want to get distracted on either. I'd love to make a video about that, like a properly researched video about what the neighborhood was that used to be there, and how it got eradicated. It's definitely a sad story of urban renewal, pushing out poor people in the name of, oh, let's make this blight go away. It displaced a lot of people, but that's a separate tragedy from a long, long time ago, and not what I'm trying to focus on right now. Anyway, as I'm going that direction, I realize I'm driving right by the Washington Jefferson exit, and I'm getting off here because at least when I started this video, there was still a heavy amount of congestion on I-10 between the stack and 75th Avenue. While it's possible that may have cleared up by now, since I've been shooting video and talking and not watching my traffic view, I don't feel like risking it. It just makes a lot more sense to me to just go down Buckeye, as there's never any traffic on this stretch of Buckeye. And yes, this is the same Buckeye Road that I just turned off on to turn left on 7th Street. And I'm just getting right back on it. And yes, I do have vlogs where you see me just driving straight down Buckeye. I do believe that shooting that bit of 7th Street down to I-17 and taking I-17 around the Durango curve like that, and then getting back off and getting back on Buckeye, I genuinely believe that takes less time. That takes less time than just continuing to, when there's no traffic, when there's no, delays on the 17, as there just now wasn't. I firmly believe that takes less time than just continuing to drive straight down Buckeye from 7th Street to I-17. Although, to be fair, I've never timed it, so I could be wrong. That could be all in my head. I certainly enjoy driving that route more, though. So I'll continue to do so. I know there's no traffic on it. Anyway, I'm driving past the exit and I'm thinking, shit, there's congestion at the split. I don't want to be stuck in that. And at this point, I'm not too terribly late. And these days, I really don't worry about being late for Amazon, because I've got a really solid grip around how to manage my PTO and my UPT, and I'm still sitting on a lot of PTO. So what the heck? Let's experiment. So I took the next exit, which is the Sky Harbor Airport exit, and went under. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, I haven't taken this exit in a long time. This is kind of fun, because it's just kind of a fun ramp. It's got some nice curve to it and some nice texture. It kind of goes down and swoops under, and then swoops right back up as it does kind of an S curve, and then it goes above everything to where you're going over 24th Street, like the Bridge of the Camera. Now, as I was going through the intersection right after I started this video. Anyway, it's worth noting that at that point where 24th Street intersects with Buckeye, and where you see Sky Harbor Boulevard going over it, actually sits on the 22nd Street alignment. When that overpass was originally put there, and when that intersection was originally built, and also when the Greyhound station that sits there was originally built, that was the intersection of 22nd Street and Buckeye, not 24th Street. There was another airport expansion project that was done after that pushed 24th Street to the west a quarter mile onto the 22nd Street alignment, and put a little S-curve further to the north. And I'm sure I've vlogged over both stretches of it. It reconnects at about to the north at Air Lane, and to the south it reconnects right before you get to I-17. Or no, I'm sorry, not I-17, but actually I-10 after the split, where I-10 curves and heads back in an eastward direction, and then crosses 24th Street. By a side street hardly anybody ever uses, called Old Tower Road, which I used to ride that road a lot with my father when he worked at the Air National Guard base that's on the south side of, that most people don't even know exists. It's kind of hidden on the south side of Sky Harbor. That's pretty much the only thing that road goes to. So yeah, unless you're going to that little hidden military base, you have no reason to go down that road. But when I would go with my dad to the base for whatever reason, that's the road we went down. His favorite route to get across town was actually Mojave. Now you can't go all the way through on Mojave because it doesn't cross where the Sky Harbor Rental Car Center is. You can't take it past 16th Street. But it used to go through, and I remember he drove through that barrio, or whatever you want to call it, that ended up getting all bought up by the city and bulldozed in the urban renewal project I was talking about. He used to drive through that neighborhood, and I recall it was pretty ghetto, but it was a neighborhood. It's not there anymore. Whole thing completely eradicated. The south part of Sky Harbor Circle is where Mojave was. In fact, for the longest time, and it might still be that way, when you cross it on I-10, that part of Sky Harbor Circle, there used to be signs on the overpass, because a lot of freeway overpasses in Arizona will have a sign on it to indicate what street you're passing when you're crossing over or under a street. And even though that road got changed to Sky Harbor Circle when the neighborhood was eradicated and the whole Sky Harbor Circle like industrial area got put in its place, which is still to this day mostly vacant. ADOT didn't get the memo, so for decades after that, there were still signs on that overpass when you're on I-10 that said Mojave Road. I'm not sure if it still says that or not. I think they may have finally changed it to where it says Sky Harbor Circle South. I'm not sure. Part of me wants to drive right over to it and look, but I need to get my ass to work, and it's about that time. But anyway, he used to take Mojave across over 24th Street. That's long before 24th Street got aligned. 24th Street got realigned a good solid decade plus after that neighborhood got eradicated. But anyway, yeah, it aligns right there when it gets to I-10, right where Old Tower Road is. And I'm gonna let that guy pass me. Yes. Oh, thank you. That guy was actually, I was closing in where my right lane, the lane I was in, was ending, and rather than doing like a typical Phoenix driver and just not leaving me a place to go, and mind you, I was going to yield to him anyway and not try to edge him out, he actually blinked his lights at me and let me know to go ahead. So very nice. I don't see that kind of driver courtesy very often. I don't even see it amongst truckers anymore. It used to kind of be a trucker thing. Wow, just a suddenly extra courteous driver in Phoenix. I'm speechless. Anyway, oh look, and now there's a more normal Phoenix driver thing. I got two vehicles ahead of me with no lights on. Yeah, we don't need no stinking lights. No lights at all. Still ain't got no lights. This guy knows he has no lights. No matter if I blink in his rear view, no, he's not paying attention to no lights. He's driving down the freeway access road, 59th Avenue, with no lights. Ooh, did he turn them on, or are those just his brake lights? Hard to tell. I can't see. There's too much traffic to the right. I don't know if he turned his lights on, if those are his brake lights. Anyway, it always amuses me how many people at night in Phoenix drive with their lights off. Got another one. Anyway, I was not gonna. My purpose of I wanted to talk a little bit on and vlog a little bit on the way to work and practically to work, and I'm just talking about what changes have happened on the west side of Sky Harbor Airport, and how the roads are realigned and whatnot. Which, of course, you got video of me driving. It would be a lot better if I did these videos with like visuals of maps. Well, I produce videos like that. Maybe someday. Not anytime soon, though. Don't hold your breath for that. Anyway, so yeah, 24th Street is now where 22nd Street was, and where 24th Street used to be, there is still an intersection at Buckeye Road. And 24th Street got renamed to Copperhead. I'm not sure if it's Copperhead Road or Copperhead Way or whatever. The sign that I see, I've never driven on it. I always just pass it when I'm on Buckeye Road there. And so there's just big green signs. It's Copperhead. I think it'd be interesting if it's actually called Copperhead Road, considering the Steve Earle song and all. Especially considering that song was named long after the Steve Earle song came out. That for reasons I can't explain, people like to line dance to. That shit makes me sick. To me, it's very disrespectful to line dance to a song about somebody who came back from Vietnam and was really messed up from it. That just seems disrespectful of Vietnam veterans. But I've found most people don't listen to the lyrics of songs and have no idea what the lyrical content is of songs that they seem to think they know. I mean, case in point, I can't even tell you how many people have asked me to play Little River Band Happy Anniversary at one of my karaoke shows for them and their wife because it's our anniversary. Yeah, that song is about a guy whose wife left him or girlfriend left him and is with another guy, and he's just thinking about how much better off she is with the other dude, but it would be their anniversary, so he's just thinking about how he has her on her mind and he's thinking about her being with that other dude. Yeah, it's not a song I would want to dedicate to my wife on her anniversary, but hey, if the only part that you remember is happy anniversary, baby, got you on my mind, I guess it fits. And I'm convinced those are the only words those people know of that song, because the rest of the song is not something you'd want to be playing for your significant other to celebrate your anniversary. Unless, of course, she's, in a good place with her boyfriend and you're supportive of that. And hey, who am I to judge those kind of relationships? Which makes me wonder if Priscilla's got another boyfriend yet. I'm thinking not. But at least she's really slowed down her amount of text to me this week, so that's something. And I kind of had a date today, sort of, which was cool. That's what I wanted to talk about. I never did finish explaining what I did. It was such a different traffic maneuver that I just didn't know was a thing. Anyway, short story long, I realized I missed the exit for Jefferson and Washington, and I didn't want to get caught in the roughly 1 mile of I-17 at the beginning of I-17. It was all colored red due to heavy traffic. Guy in the right lane is not turning right, which means he's going to probably try and cut me off between here and the next light. Keep an eye on this guy because that lane on the right ends in just a little bit. And typically Phoenix drivers don't pay attention to signs like that one there that says you need to get out of that lane because it's not a through lane. And he tried to cut me off. Yep, he just now came over. Just had to make sure I was a little bit ahead of him so he wouldn't just cut me off, because that's one of those spots where people typically do that. And he still kind of went a little bit to the right, like he was changing lanes into a non-existent lane. Unfortunately, I don't have a rear camera to capture that stupid maneuver that just happened. Yes, I'm practically to work, so I don't get to explain what I was going to talk about, which is kind of what I did today. Yeah, so anyway, so I took the exit for Sky Harbor thinking, well, there's got to be some way I can just double back and get onto Buckeye, and surely that'll be better than being stuck in that traffic jam on I-17. So I took the Sky Harbor exit, thinking to myself, yeah, this is fun. It's got some satisfying fun curves and it moves quickly. And then I noticed that there was an exit that said, like a freeway type exit, that said 24th Street, Buckeye Road. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. And I took it, and it does it kind of drops down, and then does kind of a swoop to the right, a real short swoop to the right, and then comes to a traffic light. And surprise, you are on Copperhead, the street that formerly used to be 24th Street, southbound at the intersection at Buckeye Road. But I didn't come off that too quick, because it goes from driving at freeway speed to kind of sharp curve to the right to red light. But I was able to turn right on red, and then right after that is when I started this video. So I wish I had shot video of that. I'm gonna have to do it some other time. It definitely did not save me time over exiting at oh shit, fuck me, I just missed the turn and then inconvenienced my coworkers. I don't believe I just did that. That was smooth. and they were actually stopping for me too. Ain't that some shit? Oh, talking about bonehead drivers, and I'm over here being one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to shoot some video of that. That was an interesting maneuver. Definitely did not save me any time over just simply taking the exit for Washington and Jefferson, and taking the other exit for Sky Harbor Circle and Sky Harbor Circle over to Buckeye Road. That would have definitely been quicker, especially considering all the red lights I got. Like, I got a red light at 24th Street, got a red light at I-10. I think I got a red light at Sky Harbor Circle as well. But did it save me time over getting stuck in the traffic jam on I-17? I don't know. Maybe. But it certainly was an interesting route to take. Enough that that's all I talked about on the way here for the most part. Last video got cut off. Ran out of space on the Obama phone as I was heading home. No shock there. I'm rolling on not enough sleep tonight. I feel pretty energized though, so I think it'll be all right. If I feel like I'm too tired at some point tonight, I'll just, let my supervisors know. It's like, hey, if you can VTO me, please do, and if not, I'm gonna have to PTO my ass out of here because I am too drowsy to drive. But right now, I feel drive as in forklift drive. But I know I feel pretty alive and alert, energized, so ready to make it happen. 6:56, so I'm pretty much coming in the building right on time, which is a good thing. Could have been here a little earlier had I not missed that stupid exit at Jefferson. Or for that matter, not miss the entrance to the parking lot at Amazon. I don't believe I just did that. But hey, I got the parking spot I want. That's cool. So I guess I'll have to talk about what happened with me and the lady friend later. Keep y'all in suspense about it. Let's just say that we had a good time, and I did actually bring her back to my place, and she wasn't horribly offended by the mess as I was worried she might be. So at least I don't think so. She seemed the last woman I brought with me over there was Chris, the morning after work when I lost control of my car on the on-ramp from the 10 to the 17 and scratched the front of my bumper. So granted, that probably put her in a bad headspace, but she just seemed mortified to be at my place. I don't know if it's because of the mess or because of the accident, or she's just not, she doesn't seem like she's in a really good place with her life. But the woman I was hanging with today, she does. She's really young. I like that though. Yeah, she As I mentioned, she's making more in her warehouse job than I am in mine. But yeah, she's went to my place and kind of hung out and showed her some of the media collection and the toys, and we just talked about more stuff, and it was a really good time. Anything else I want to mention? Yes, my daughter, who has been MIA and not talking to me for what seems like weeks at this point, randomly showed up during my couple hours of sleep that I got before now. Was freaking out about how she needed to get something out of the mail. I told her I'm pretty sure the mail got returned to the post office and everything got returned to sender. And she's going off about how if she didn't get what was in the mail, then she was going to have to go to the hospital. I don't know what that's about. I'm thinking it has something to do with drugs, but I don't know. She rummaged around on the the Laserdisc shelf, and apparently found the keys. She said she got in the mailbox, and yes, everything was returned. Yeah, I told you so. She really needs to find another place to deliver her mail, because I don't even bother to get my mail there. So, like, I don't know where she's staying at this point. I don't know what she's doing. Really weird that just suddenly randomly showed up like that. But she really needs to be sending me messages before she just randomly shows up like that and comes in. I mean, hey, what if my lady friend and I would have been making out on the couch? What if that was happening? That would have been horribly awkward for both of us. Anyway, and come to think of it, she was on my couch the morning I brought Chris home with me, too. Coincidence? I don't know. Yeah, it's got to be coincidence. Not like she knows what I'm doing. Anyway, I got to get my ass in the building. Thanks for coming with On the Drive.